So yeah, I'm JD Frost, and my entrepreneur journey, I guess, started when I began my business in 2012. I walked out the door. I had a job and was working for somebody else, and I didn't get the raise that I wanted, and I didn't get the promotion that I wanted. So I went out and started my own firm. Started that accounting firm in 2012. Started big. I was always very good at developing business and growing the business. And I basically turned my company into the same company that I had left.
Welcome to the Gentleman Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast, where we bring to you the most successful, happy, fulfilled gentlemen from around the world who have been able to conquer themselves, their life, their marriage, and their businesses. You will be learning from four-dimensional gentlemen who have cracked the code to the science of having it all. The question is, how can married entrepreneurs with kids become gentlemen, achieve true freedom, and build a successful, happy, and fulfilled life, marriage, and business? This show will give you the answer for that. My name is Alex Ramirez, and I'm your host, and you're welcome to the Gentleman Success, Happiness, Fulfillment Talk podcast. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of the Gentleman Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast. And today, before I introduce this gentleman to you, I just want to give a big shout out to all of you who have been leaving comments, reviews, and likes on all the major podcasting platforms, Apple, Google, Spotify, and to those who have been watching on YouTube as well. Thank you. And I want to ask you for a favor. I want to ask you that if you get something out of this interview, if you get some type of value, some type of insight, a skill, new information, or the inspiration to go out and take action, I want to ask you to please share this episode with 10 people. Share the link on social media, share it with friends on your everywhere. Share with 10 people, since this is how we grow. This is how we're able to share our message and motivate, inspire, and bless others out there to change their lives. And I would really appreciate that if you take some time to do that. And today I have JD Frost, and he's the founder and CEO of Croft and Frost, a firm that transcends traditional accounting and wealth creation. With both a CPA and his MBA, JD advises businesses on more than just their finances. He utilizes four foundations of wealth creation to help his clients, partners, and employees build courage and create wealth. And as an entrepreneur, he knows what it takes to start and scale a business, and has used his years of experience in accounting to build a solid foundation for each and every one of his clients and businesses. Husband, father, entrepreneur, amazing guy. I'm very excited to have you, JD. Thank you very much for being here, man, and making some time. And you are welcome, brother.
Yeah, thank you so much, Alex. I appreciate it, man. It's an honor to be on this podcast.
Yeah, I'm honored to have you as well. So thanks. And the first thing that I do with my guest, man, is I tell them to walk us through their entrepreneurial journey in 75 seconds or less.
Gotcha. That's quick. So yeah, I'm JD Frost, and my entrepreneur journey, I guess, started when I began my business in 2012. I walked out the door. I had a job and was working for somebody else, and I didn't get the raise that I wanted, and I didn't get the promotion that I wanted. So I went out and started my own firm. Started that accounting firm in 2012. Started big. I was always very good at developing business and growing the business. And I basically turned my company into the same company that I had left, because that's all I knew. And in 2018, I had a significant change in my life. I had to become sober, and I had a crazy experience with that, but I eventually had to give up alcohol. And I went to a conference called 10X, which is Grant Cardone's conference. And at that conference, I discovered this world of entrepreneurs that were out there that did not have, that were underserved from an accounting perspective. And so I started to get on social media. I got on Instagram. I started doing videos to have more people know who I am, what I do. And that evolved into me meeting my business partner, Paul Croft, today. And we met through social media, and that's how we started our business partnership. And we've grown our company from doing $260,000 a year into this year. We should be doing $20 to $25 million this year.
Nice. Damn, yeah. Those, you're playing big. That's really cool.
Was that
So
75 seconds?
you nailed it. Yeah, you nailed it, man. Yeah. Pretty
Awesome.
cool, right? Like this is pretty different. You've never, well, I've never heard a podcast that asks that, their guests to walk through the
I
entrepreneur journey
love
in
that.
75 seconds. Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome. That's the way I operate. So,
Man, so you left your accounting firm, like the accounting firm that you were working for, because you didn't get a raise. You didn't get what you wanted. How did that make you feel at the moment? And are you grateful about it?
oh yeah. At the moment, I felt let down. I felt mistrusted, mistreated. I mean, I can literally remember right now sitting across from the managing partner and him saying, "Look, no, I'm not going to promote you to manager. I'm not going to do that." And I mean, I busted my ass. Like, I mean, I did a lot of things, and it was like, no, it wasn't like we tell our team members now, hey, that's not available right now. Here's what you need to do to get that done. And it wasn't laid out. So there wasn't a clear path. And yeah, I mean, it's the best thing that ever happened to me was that disappointment. And I mean, I think that's what I've learned a lot through sobriety is, the Serenity Prayer says, hardships are the pathway to peace. Hardships are the pathway to peace. Most people don't know that part of the Serenity Prayer, but the things that are difficult in our lives, the challenges that we face, the obstacles that are there, they are opportunities. They are going to be a blessing in the future. And that has, God has reminded me of that each and every single time I come into a challenge. And so challenges that I have today faced, literally today, I know and face that challenge as if this is now an opportunity.
With a smile on your face.
I don't know if it's a smile quite yet. I'll be totally honest. Like sometimes it is not, but it's a different feeling. And this is something that's happened to me as an entrepreneur over the last, I would say 3 months. I used to pine and worry over these challenges, even though I know because of that experience, I know that it's going to be good on the other side. Now I am almost to that place, Alex, if I'm being completely honest with you, I'm almost to that place of going like, okay, bring it on.
Let's go.
Like I know that this is and do it with an actual smile. I'm almost there, man. Not quite yet, but it's coming.
Yeah, well, man, I'm literally walking around with this thought, playing in the background of everything is always going in my favor.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that. And like a lot of people go through hardships and then, a couple of years later, they're able to look back and be like, oh, that was the lesson, right? And then feel grateful. But if you're able to have that insight now and you're able to and if you know that everything that you go through is for you, right? Then you're able to you're able to find whatever, life is trying to teach you in the moment instead of months or years from there. Right.
Yeah.
So like I always have this attitude. I always have this almost like a mantra playing in the back of my head of everything is going in my favor. And I'm trying to look for the lesson now. Right. And apply it from there. So,
Totally.
And I've learned this, man, I've been developing myself spiritually and like studying the unseen. Right. So you're like a big numbers guy, right? You're an accountant and stuff.
Yeah.
So that I don't know if how spiritually developed you are or how far into it have you gone, but it's been great, man. Like one of the things that I've done in the past few months is track my emotions. And JD, last year, man, out of 30 days in the year, I would spend 28 days of those 30 days. So I track my emotions in this thing called Big Ass Calendar by Jesse Esler. And I color there, right?
Yeah.
I color like the colors of my emotions. So like blue is on fire. So like I'm having an amazing day. Green is positive, and then purple is doubt, frustration, fear. Like red and orange and stuff like that. And last year, out of every single month, out of every 30 days of the month, I would spend 28 days in fear, frustration, overwhelm, doubt, self-sabotaging. Right? 28 days out of the 30 days of the month, I would have a bad time, man. And since I've been, developing myself spiritually and just since I've been working on increasing my level of awareness, this year I've been crushing it. Like I have a few snippets of purple here and there, but the majority of my days are colored green and blue now.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I think obviously that's your perspective and mindset changing. I mean, that happened for me. You're asking about my faith. Well, to me, it sounded like you're asking about faith. I mean, I became a Christian when I was 10 years old, and always been a follower of Christ and believer in Jesus. And I got away from that for a long time in my life, probably about at least 10, 15 years. And in 2019, after I've been sober for about a year and a half, I decided to start reading the Bible, and I hadn't read the Bible before. And so being in the Word every single day, I got through the Bible in a year. That took me to July of 2020. And then I started doing a daily devotional every single day with two accountability partners. And I still do that devotional every day till now. And that completely has changed my mindset on the fact that God wants good things to happen for us. He believes and I mean, he knows what is best for us no matter what. And that perspective for me is everything, because when I face that challenge now, I know because in the past that bad things have turned into good, but now I know that that's what's best for me in building my character and building me into the person, the vessel that he wants for me. That's why I am able to face that challenge and almost have that smile on my face now. Because sometimes I'm kind of like, I mean, and what's funny is as I've gotten into the Word, I mean, man, is it challenging. Like you think it might be like kind of happy-go-lucky, like, hey, I'm hot on fire in my faith and everything. It's like been challenging. I'm like, lay off a little bit, like give me a little bit of space every now and again, honestly. But having that mindset that this is what's best for me, I agree with you. You'll start to have better days. You'll start to have those days where you're focused on what good is happening. And if it's a bad thing, there is going to be something that good comes from this. Might not be right now, but it's coming.
Right. So something that you perceived as bad in the moment, you were mistreated, you felt you deserved it, you didn't get that promotion. So then, all right. So then what happened, man? You went out and like you were like mad and
yeah. So I literally handed them my 2-week notice, and the type of accountant that I am, I'm a people person. I'm not your typical CPA, so I'm able to relate to business owners a lot more, entrepreneurs. And so I had a decent sized book of business, and I had some clients that, I guess they figured would probably go with me. And so they made me leave that day. And I started with a yellow pad and a pen, and, started the business. I was able to set up shop fairly quickly and started hiring people.
But right now you mentioned how you turned your firm into the same firm that you left. What do you mean by that?
Yeah. So as I built the business, I started picking up clients, and then I hired people that, to help me with the work, because I wasn't going to be able to do all the work. And so I just turned it into the same kind of company. Like I used the same software, I used the same systems, I had the same type of relationships. We were billing by the hour. It really was just a little bit of a personality change, but functionally, like I used the same green folders that they used. Like it was pretty much the same company, because that's all I knew. That's all I was exposed to. I didn't have a professional coach. I didn't have a mentor. All I had was my memory of what that firm, how it operated. And so it wasn't a terrible thing. I mean, we were successful, that was about in 2017, we did around 2 million, a little over 2 million. So in 5 years, I went from 0 to 2 million in revenue that year. So it wasn't distinguished enough of like what kind of products and services we were offering. It just looked the same, felt the same to me too.
Okay. And then, so what did you do after that? Right.
So,
wait. First of all, when did you realize that, holy, like it was like I'm doing the same thing. Like I should be different. I should be better. I should be.
yeah.
Right.
So I guess I had hired another, had another partner, 2 partners at the time. And actually 3 partners at the time. And I was kind of getting to a place to where, I don't know if this has happened. Well, your business is really new, but other business owners might be able to relate to this. Like you get to a place where you kind of given up everything that you did yourself, right? Like right now, I basically delegated all of my responsibilities and everything, and I was almost bored. Okay. And I don't do well when I get bored, right? So I was like, this looks like if I just keep doing what I'm doing, which would have been fine. It would have been just fine, but we would have only been like a $5 or $6 million firm. That would have been as large as we could have gotten unless we started adding additional partners, which I didn't want to do. So I guess I was handed this millionaire booklet by a friend of mine that Grant Cardone wrote. I don't know if you've read that or not, but it's a free little booklet that he has called the Millionaire Booklet. And so I read that. And when I read that, that triggered something in me. And I was like, okay, this is something I'm a little more interested in. And then I saw the 10X conference. So in 2018, I went to the 10X conference. I was going to take my current business partner at that time. He decided not to go. And I took my personal trainer actually at the time. I was like, hey, I got this extra ticket. Do you want to go with me? And so he went with me. And man, I mean, over the course of those 3 days, my whole world changed because I was in an arena with 10,000 entrepreneurs.
Crazy, right?
Probably the only accountant there, right? There's not many accountants that think like 10X and growth and all that kind of stuff. It's just not the way that we typically think. So I realized there's a huge opportunity. I stopped. I had this Jerry Maguire moment when I was in the hotel room. I wrote this memoir about how we're going to change the firm. We're going to change the way we do business. We're going to sell products, not hours. We're going to sell services, not hours. We're going to do fixed pricing. I'm going to get on video. I'm going to get in front of a lot of people. There's so many people out there in this world. If I can be charismatic and charming and get people to do business with us by playing golf with them, I can definitely do it on social media.
Yeah.
So this and it's at the same time of being sober too. I kind of had a lot more time on my hands and I was thinking a lot more clearly. And I guess I've always felt like I'm going to have a little bit bigger impact than what I had built at that time. And this gave me the platform to be able to do that. That's why I'm here with you right now. Right.
Yeah.
So
man, that is awesome. Let's see. When did I read Grant Cardone's book? I don't know, but I've invested into everything that he has, and I just went, to the 10X conference. I think I saw. Did you go to the 10X Growth Conference this year?
Yes. Yeah.
I think I saw you, man. Did you go?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Your face looks familiar.
Yeah, I do the whole front row thing and everything.
Me too. Yeah. It was really cool.
That's where I saw you.
Yeah, it was really cool, man, because I sat in the front row and I literally met some of my podcast guests. It was really cool, right? I was wearing this shirt, Modern Gentleman shirt, and it was really cool. So I probably saw you, but I didn't know I was gonna have you on. So it's all about 10X levels of thinking and 10X levels of action. So you started to think bigger. You started to act the way you were thinking now. So you got home after those 3 days, and what did you start doing?
Yeah, so I got home. I hired a business coach. I hired all kinds of coaches. I got so many people in my ear, and man, did we take off. We went from 17 to 18. We went from 2.2 million to 4.7 million in a year, and man, we exploded. And we started adding more and more people. We got up to around 42 people, and throughout 2018 it was great. And at the same time I was building this building that I'm in right now. It's a 4-story office building here in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Nice.
And as I was building the building, we were getting towards the end of 2018 and we were getting ready to move into the building in 2019. And I'm sure you can probably imagine, as I was doing what I was doing more on social media and kind of changing the way we do things, making a lot of people around me uncomfortable. That's what happens when you have a change. If you're going through a growth stage, all the people close to you in your life are going to tell you to stop. They're going to tell you, you're making me uncomfortable. You're weird.
It hurts.
Stop doing what you're doing. Yes. And it hurts like hell. But when that happens, you know that you're actually growing as a person. And so that started happening with my business partner, and we started kind of seeing things differently. And throughout 2018, throughout 2019, the very first part of 2019, we tried to repair it, but we couldn't. And we basically wanted different things. And so we had to break our partnership at that time.
Okay.
I had one partner leave. I had 3 partners at the time. I had one partner leave in November 2018. Another partner left in February of 2019. And then the final partner, my original one, left in July of 2019. So I was back to square one. And I didn't realize that what I thought was an awesome company I built in a completely wrong way. I had no foundation to my company whatsoever. And it was controlled by those people that were there. And so when they left, all of our whole staff, I went down from 42 people down to 8 people again. I had one person leave every single week for the whole second half of 2019.
Damn.
And I'm talking like the first week after my partner was gone, my most trusted person quit. Out. I can't take this anymore. I'm too stressed out. Can't take it. Next person, next person, next person, next person, next person. I mean, all the way throughout the rest of 2019.
How did you feel, man, going through that journey and like just seeing everyone leaving?
I mean, it was the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life. I've had so many people sit in this chair right here that I'm pointing at, crying their eyes out, saying that it was a toxic work environment.
All of those people were accountants?
Yeah, accountants and, admin people. They just, I was so locked in on what I wanted. I didn't care if I had to start over to get it. And we had to start over to get it because I couldn't bring the people that
you didn't have foundation.
Huh?
You didn't have the foundation, right? So
we
you
didn't have the foundation. We didn't have the core values together, and they were not the right people. They weren't the right fit, and that's not their fault. Like I own that now. Like I would have been better off coming back from that conference and saying, look, I'm starting over. I'm giving everybody 2 months of pay, and I'm literally going to start my business over. It would have been better off, because I also, in the midst of that, I lost all those people. Well, those people were the ones that were doing the work for those clients. So I also lost 736 clients out of 1,200. So more than 50% of the business left at the same time. And I was responsible for all of that because of the decisions that I'd made. But it was hard. It has been an unbelievable fight to come back from that. And a lot of the things that I talk about today, a lot of the, like the daily ledger or the concept of day one, the book that I'm writing right now, all of that content, thought process, mindset shift, that all came from getting through that, making it through it, and capitalizing on those opportunities that came as a result of that.
After the hardship, right?
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm. So, man, I want to ask about your book, The Life Ledger, and then you're writing a new one, right?
No, that's the one that I'm finishing up writing right now.
Got it.
And then I'm going to, I'm pretty sure Rocky Garza and I are going to be writing a book called Day One. No doubt.
So I want to talk about that, the events, your podcast. But before, I asked about that. I'm curious to know about how rebuilding looked like, and how is it that you need to build a business with a solid foundation. Like, how do you build a business with a solid foundation? How did you do it? Yeah, walk me through that journey of rebuilding.
Yeah, so finding the right people is everything. And so when I found Paul Croft, my business partner, that was the right person that I needed. If you've read the book Traction, there's also another book called Rocket Fuel that's kind of the sequel to Traction by Gino Wickman. Yeah. And it talks about having a visionary and an integrator. So we believe that you can't go at anything alone. You got to have a partner. You got to have collaboration. You got to have accountability. And so when I met Paul, he aligned with this bigger vision of social media, putting yourself out there, being 100% you, he understood that there's an opportunity in the accounting world to change the industry, not only for clients, but for CPAs, for accountants, for bookkeepers. And so when I found Paul and we started working together, our foundation started to be built because of our core values that we had in our business, our mission and our core values. And we started hiring people based off of that. That gave the stronger foundation.
Nice. Awesome. Do you mind sharing your mission and core values?
No, not at all. Our mission is we want to help entrepreneurs reach their personal, professional, and financial goals through building courage and creating wealth. That's our mission. Our core values are.
So it's much more than bookkeeping, right?
Yeah. So our goal is our guarantee is to change the way you think. We're going to change the way you think, because I can give you any tax structure, any wealth creation strategy, anything. If you do not think differently than you did 10 minutes ago, then you're never going to execute on that strategy. So it doesn't matter how good we are at taxes, we got to change the way you think. And so we believe that wealth comes from having courage. That's why we build courage first and then create wealth after that. Much like you were describing to me before, what was it? Physical, emotional, financial, sentimental.
Yeah.
You got to go in that order, right? That's a specific order that you got to go in. For us with finances, we believe in our 4 foundations of wealth creation. You got to increase your recurring monthly income. You need to save money on taxes. You need to protect your income through tax-free wealth. And then you need to invest in yourself and others. So if you are creating wealth in that order, and it's constantly cycling over and over and over again, because the more you invest in yourself, you know this, the more you invest in yourself, the more money you're going to make. Yeah. And the more money you make makes you have a tax problem. Now we need to save money on taxes. So that's where we became a different company, was when Paul and I came together and our visions aligned together.
Cool. And who's the visionary and the integrator? Are you the visionary or integrator? Both?
Paul's the visionary. Paul's the visionary. I'm the integrator for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And back to like investing in yourself, the fourth pillar, like the secret, because I believe I've had a pretty decent growth, right? And I'm just starting. I'm like 21.
Awesome.
And it's because I've invested about $200,000 in my personal development in the last 3 years, man. Like all of the money that I've gotten, pretty much everything has gone back into me, right? Because
every time, because you're meeting your podcast guests at the front row at 10X, right? I mean, that investment alone, it always pays. It always pays to invest in yourself. And so that's what I'm very proud of about what we're doing. So we're not an accounting firm. We're a company that is going to help you solve any problem you are coming across, because most of the problems that you have in your business start with you. And until you know yourself inside and out and become very, very self-aware of who you are, why you do things the way you do, why you think the way you do, the more awareness you have, the better daily choices you make. The better daily choices you make, the better the results are going to be. And that's how you scale your business.
Cool.
It starts with you.
Sorry for the interruption. If you're an aspiring, established coach, course creator, author, and speaker, I want to extend an invitation to check out my free training on the podcast Cloak Track Framework by clicking on the link in the description of this podcast. On this training, you're going to learn how combining podcasting with a rare concept that very few people know about called the Cloak Track can help you build a multi-million-dollar network of successful people who can become your clients, put you in front of hundreds of your ideal clients with your message, coaching, courses, and books, help you become a best-selling author, get you booked to speak on stages, or even making an extra $237,600 in the next 6 months. Click on the link of the description of this podcast to learn about the 4 simple steps to make this work. Step number 1 is alignment. Aligning who you're trying to be, what you're trying to do, your goals and purpose with building your podcast so that podcasting is a vehicle that helps you achieve your goals. Step number 2 is leveraging the Cloak Track to find an unlimited supply of your ideal podcast guest. Step number 3 is leveraging the cloak track to close an interview with anyone, no matter how rich, famous, or out of your league they may seem. And step number 4 is the content machine, which is the key to tapping into other people's audiences. These are the 4 steps to making the podcast cloak track framework work, and I'm not going to hold anything back on this training. So click on the link in the description of this podcast, go and check it out. And once you've done that, if you feel like this would help, we also have a complimentary, free, absolutely free alignment call to get you started and show you exactly how to implement everything. Get access to the training right now, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this episode. Bye-bye. Yeah. So the way I describe the modern gentleman, it's supposed to be like a coaching / mastermind, is that we're an investment firm. We invest in people who are willing to invest in themselves.
Yeah, love that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
So, thanks, man. So you the book, right? The life ledger. That's how it's called. And then you have a similar podcast, the Daily Ledger podcast. So what is that about? Like, how did it get inspired? What is it about? And yeah, tell me a little bit about it.
I appreciate that. So the Daily Ledger is this right here. This is my journal. I always wanted to journal, and I was like, how do I journal? I don't even know how to start that. But in November of 2019, that was at the end of that time when all those people left. And I was like, basically, I was almost ready to give up. I was just like, I just need to start over. This sucks. But I was listening to Cardone every day, still listening to him. And I heard him say the thing that he did that made him the most successful was write his goals down twice a day. And I was like, man, if that's what it is, like, I'm going to start doing that. And I heard him talk about it over time, but I never saw him do it. I've never seen him actually do it. Like, he's done it like maybe on the boot camp or something, but like, is Cardone really writing his goals down twice a day? That's what I asked myself. And I was like, you know what? I am going to dedicate my life to writing my goals down twice a day. And I'm going to be the one who shows people this. Like, I'm going to show them, and I'm going to do it every day, no matter what. And so that was the beginning of the Daily Ledger. So that started me writing my goals down twice a day in November 2019. I've got all these daily letters right here that I've kept. And that evolved into one day, Logan Vandergriff, who's on our team, actually gave me this journal in particular. It's called a self journal. You can go get one on your own. But he was using this, and his wife today actually recommended to use it. And it's got different parts to it. So it's writing down what you're grateful for, writing down what your goal is for the day, writing your 3 targets for the day, what's going to make today great. I write down my power base, my people that hold me accountable every day. I write all their names down. So I remember that I've got this team around me, because relationship capital is way more valuable than money. Yeah, so I 100%. Remind myself of the people in my corner every day, and then I write my goals down every day. And so that is what the Daily Ledger is. And I've done that every single day since November of 2019, like clockwork. I don't always do it in the morning. I cannot go to bed without doing it. And so that is what has helped me to accomplish everything I've accomplished since that day when I had to split with my partner. And that has evolved into what is the book called The Life Ledger. So I talk about a lot of the experience that I had in that book, and then how the Daily Ledger evolved from there, and then the 4 foundations of wealth creation.
I love that. Awesome, man. And the reason Grant Cardone says that, that strategy of writing your goals twice a day works is because you are drawn to what's familiar, right? Yep. And if you write your goals down, they'll become familiar, right? And they'll be normal to you. Like, it'll become, and you're attracted to what's familiar. So achieving your goals will be familiar to you, and that'll be something that you achieve because you like brainwash yourself into believing that all of that is true, that all of that is for you.
Yeah.
And I don't write my goals down every single day, but I do go over them.
Yep.
Here I have my core values. And, for people for people listening, I'm like showing something on the screen. I have my core values. So I go through my core values. I have people that inspire me. I have Grant Cardone there, right? I have like my map. I literally have a roadmap of how I'm going to be growing my business. I have 90-day letters that I make to myself. I call this the mental pathway programming, right? And like I read it, I feel it, and it works, man. Like I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know. I
awesome.
think, yeah.
Our brains are really, really powerful. And if we're constantly reminding our brain on a daily basis of what we want, we will make better decisions. That's raising the awareness, right? That we were talking about. I'm reading the book, The Everyday Hero Manifesto. It's
Okay.
unbelievable, man. Amazing book. And that's what he was talking about becoming more aware. The goal writing and your, what'd you call that? Your memory plan?
I call it the mental pathway programming.
Love it. Mental pathway programming. You're just raising awareness on a daily basis of what you want. And when you're reminding yourself of what you want, then you're going to make better decisions every day based
You
on
keep it on top of mind, right?
It's the filter for all your decision making. And so when you make good choices, you're going to get better results. You're just going to.
Yeah.
One of those choices might be hanging out with your family rather than staying at the office. It's gonna, like, if one of your goals is to have a family, if one of your goals is to get married, if one of your goals is to have grandchildren or whatever it is, that might be a better choice.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So on your podcast, do you interview people?
Yeah, I interview people every now and again. I've been interviewing our whole team because it's been changing in our management team and their experience with the daily ledger. Because, a lot of them were kind of like, what do we need to do this? Do we have to do this? Like, I'm like, I don't want to force you to do anything. I want you to do it because you see the results from it.
Yeah.
And so we've been talking about that on the Daily Ledger podcast as well.
Cool. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So man, you talk about this concept, and I have 5 questions that I want to ask you before, ending the interview. I end all of my interviews with 5 questions, but I don't want to go over this that I want to ask you before that, which is, how do you wake up every single day as if it was day one?
Love that. So it takes some effort. So there's reminders, there's actions, and there's accountability that make up waking up every single day as day one. You need the reminder, which for me is my coin from AA. Like, that reminds me every single day that today's a new day, and today I'm going to choose not to drink.
Cool.
I'm going to make that decision because I got control over that, because I can't control myself with alcohol. So for me, that reminds me that every day is day one. Secondly is the action. That's the daily ledger. So I do this every day to remind myself of day one. I write down at the very top of the page, day one. And then I have accountability in my life. I've got people in my power base. I have 2 accountability partners, and, we literally like text each other day one, day one. Or if I see people out here in the office, I'll say day one, give them a fist bump, like, it's day one. We had an incredible day in our business yesterday. Alex, we had probably one of the best days that we've ever had in our business. We collected $593,000 yesterday in life insurance commissions.
Damn.
One day, $593,000. We've been working on that product for a year now, and every month we're working on more and more clients and everything. But I said to my team this morning in our text stream, I was like, day one, like, we had a great day yesterday.
Yeah.
It's awesome, but today's today. Let's not just rest on that, because success is gonna be our biggest enemy. Success is our biggest enemy in our businesses and in our lives. As soon as we start to think that we got this shit, I got this covered, I know how to do this, I could probably have a drink if I wanted to. As soon as I get into that headspace, I'm over, I'm done, see you later. So those are the ways that I remind myself and get up every single day is day one.
Awesome, man. The first question that I have for you is, what advice would you give your 20-year-old self if you could?
Get to know yourself better. Start to go to counseling, get around people that are completely honest with you and you trust, and that they have your best interest at heart. and listen to them and listen to yourself and get to know yourself better.
Awesome. Yeah. That's what. So like something that came to mind. There's two very important days in everyone's life: when they're born and when they find out why, right? And by getting to know yourself, you'll find out why, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. The second question is, what is a mindset shift that you've had that you can share with us that you think is contributing to your success?
Money doesn't matter.
Okay.
The mindset shift that money is a tool in your business. It's to be used. It's to be exchanged. It's not to just go into your bank account to make yourself feel secure. Find your security
Or good enough.
Or good enough, right? If you find, the mindset shift is how much money went through my bank account today.
Yeah.
In
exactly.
and out. That is a mindset shift that I think is probably the biggest one that I've learned lately, that the more and more and more that I focus less and less and less on that, we get the results like we had yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. I love that. I hope, people who are listening to that, get the deep meaning, right? That what you just said has. Mindset map. So do you have any advice for people who may lack or need clarity?
Any advice for people who lack or need clarity? Clarity relative to just anything? Like
Life.
Man, I don't know what to do.
Who you are, what you want, where you're going, right? The
Gotcha.
daily ledger.
Yeah. If you lack or need clarity, I would get around somebody, find somebody that you look up to, that you admire, that you want to be like, somebody that's a model to you, and get around them. If you can't get around them, get around the people that are around them. And if you can't get around those people, get around those people that are around them. You got to surround yourself with people that you want to be like. Now, how do you find, because the people that you look up to, you're looking up to them for a reason, because they have discovered something that you have not discovered yet. They will be able to help you find that clarity.
Mm-hmm. Or listen to their podcast.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, there's so many ways. Like, oh, there's no way. I started in 2018. I was the third guy from the top, the third row from the top. And now Grant Cardone knows who I am.
Cool.
He probably knows who you are. Like, I don't have his phone number yet, but man, when I go to a conference, he always says hello to me.
Man, let me tell you something. So this past weekend, I was meditating and I got this idea, right? Which it was a name. And that name was Understanding a Modern Queen podcast, right? So starting a podcast for women. And I haven't been able to get Grant Cardone on my podcast, but guess what? Guess who I've been able to get? Elena Cardone on my woman's podcast.
There you go.
So now all I got to do is, hey, Elena, I had this going on and I need to get Grant Cardone on my podcast, right?
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Totally. And if I can help you with that in any way, I'll send a text to Jared Glant and see if he'll do it for you.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. So mindset map, motion, measure. Motion? Oh yeah, motion. So what is one habit that you have right now that you think is contributing to your success?
The best habit and most simple habit that I believe contributes to my success would be beating the sun up in the morning.
Beating the sun up. Yeah. Beat the sun every single day. Cool.
Yeah.
Waking up early.
Yeah. The earlier you rise, the more time that you will have, because we all have the same 24 hours in a day. If you wake up an hour earlier, I think during the year, you'll get at least 15 days back that most people don't get just by waking up 1 hour earlier than you normally do.
If you wake up 1 hour earlier, that's 365 days in a year, which is about 9 8-hour work weeks, man.
There
2
you
months.
Go. Yeah, 2 months. There you go. Even more.
Yeah. So incredible.
Yeah.
The last one, measure. So measuring and tracking. What do you think about measuring and tracking?
Whatever what Matt Dyer says in our team, he always says track and stack. So whatever gets measured gets done. I believe in order to accomplish anything, you have to write down something. So if you want to accomplish it, write it down. If you want to increase your sales, start writing down what your sales are every single day, and they will start to go up. I don't know what it is, but the most people won't do it. They won't do it. They're like, oh, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to do it anymore. I don't know what it is, but it works.
Let me share an insight with you, man. Let me tell you why it works. All right. And this was shared by another of my podcast guest. He said, what if God is deaf? Like he can't hear. Right. So like people praying to him, like he cannot hear them. Right. So they don't know what they want. He doesn't know what they want. But if you write it down, like, and you're literally able to show him, he's able to see, and then he puts the opportunities in place for you to be able to get to your goals.
Hey, that's awesome. I haven't heard that before. That's great. Right?
Cool. Yes. Yeah. So, man, I've had a lot of fun. I've loved this conversation. So if people want to know more about the Life Ledger, your book, you got events that I didn't get to talk about, but your events, your speaking, your podcast, your accounting services, of course. Where can they go and find you, man?
Yes. So there's 3 different places I would say to start with. Instagram, jdfrost.today. Go follow me. And I am very interactive with everybody who follows me, DMs me, all that kind of stuff. Our company website, croftandfrost.com, www.croftandfrost.com. That's where all of our events and everything will be. And then also my personal website, jdfrost.today, jdfrost.today. Those would be the 3 places to start and to get into contact and find out about everything that we're doing.
Awesome. Well, thanks, man. Thank you very much for being here. I had a lot of fun. Thank you. And I'll see you later.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Alex.
Bye-bye, man. Thank you for watching the Gentleman's Success, Happiness, and Fulfillment Talk podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with one friend, leave us a comment, and let us know. 99% of people never leave a review or comment, but we love and are very thankful with the 1% of you who do. If there's something or someone you want to see on this podcast, send me a message on Instagram at Alex_Ramirez1020 and let me know. As a thank you for that, I have an amazing surprise for each and every one of you who does take the time to leave us a comment or review on YouTube or one of the major podcasting platforms